Lionel Messi walked off the pitch in tears on Sunday night, and everyone assumed they knew exactly what those tears meant. But days later, Messi still hasn't said goodbye. And in the meantime, the one record that would have made this loss easier to swallow quietly slipped away from him, without him even touching the ball again. This is a stranger, sadder story than a simple retirement announcement. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Let's get into it. Sunday's World Cup final between Spain and Argentina was billed as a changing of the guard moment before a ball was even kicked. 39-year-old Messi against 19-year-old Lamine Yamal. The sport's past and its future sharing the same pitch on the biggest stage there is. Spain controlled the match for long stretches, and Argentina, missing injured center back Lisandro Martinez after the first half, struggled to create clean scoring chances of their own.
Emiliano Martinez kept Argentina alive with a string of remarkable saves. But Ferran Torres finally broke through 39 seconds into the second period of extra time, sealing a 1-0 win for Spain. When it ended, cameras caught Messi visibly emotional, collecting his runner-up medal with tears on his face. For a man who's given football fans almost nothing but composure over 2 decades at the highest level, that moment alone was enough to make headlines on its own. But it also immediately raised a question nobody could answer with certainty. Was that the last time we'll ever see Messi play a World Cup match? Here's the honest answer. Nobody actually knows, including, it seems, Messi himself. Argentine journalist Gaston Edul of TYC Sports reported that Sunday's final would not be Messi's absolute last appearance at the international level, suggesting he's expected to continue playing for Argentina at least through the 2026 Copa America.
That's a meaningfully different claim than Messi is retiring. It suggests continuation, just not necessarily at World Cup level again. Argentina head coach Lionel Scaloni has repeatedly said Messi will always have a place on the national team for as long as he wants one, deliberately leaving the entire decision in Messi's hands rather than making any kind of announcement on his behalf. And Messi's contract with Inter Miami runs all the way through the 2028 MLS season, confirming that whatever happens with the national team, his club career very much continues. The uncomfortable truth is that "is this goodbye?" might not get a clean answer for months, if ever. Messi has built an entire public persona around never making promises about his future, one day at a time, and there's no indication that's about to change now. Now, here's the detail that makes this story genuinely painful rather than just uncertain. Heading into the knockout stages, Messi had become the outright all-time leading goalscorer in World Cup history, a record he'd chased and finally claimed across this tournament and the 2 before it. For as long as Argentina remained alive in this competition, that record belonged to him. But France's Kylian Mbappe had one more match left to play than Messi did. The third-place playoff against England, held the day before the final. While Argentina's tournament ended entirely with the final whistle in extra time, France still had one more opportunity on the pitch, and Mbappe used it, eventually passing Messi for the outright career World Cup scoring record. Messi never got a chance to respond because his tournament, and by extension his opportunity to add to that tally, had already ended. Think about the cruelty of that timeline for a second. Messi didn't lose the record because he played worse or because Mbappe outscored him head-to-head on the same day. He lost it purely because of tournament scheduling, because reaching the final, ironically, gave him fewer remaining matches to add to his total than finishing third did for Mbappe. It's a genuinely strange, almost unfair way for a career-defining record to change hands, and it happened almost as a footnote to the far bigger story of Argentina's final loss. In the build-up to the final, Messi posted an emotional message on Instagram after Argentina's semifinal win over England, thanking his teammates, coaching staff, and the entire national team setup, and writing that the best part of these years was never just about the titles, but about the whole journey, competing together, getting back up after difficult moments, and enjoying every step along the way. Media outlets quickly nicknamed it his last tango post, reading it as an implicit goodbye letter to international football, even though Messi never used the word retirement anywhere in it. When directly asked about stepping away, Messi has consistently pushed back on the finality of that framing. Speaking on Argentine television before the final, he said his mentality and his mindset would not change, and that he would try to give his best for himself and for his club, and continue performing at the highest level. In a separate interview, he said before that he plans to keep playing, in his own words, until he simply can't anymore. Competitive to his core, someone who, by his own admission, doesn't even let his own kids win at video games. Realistically, here's the picture as it stands. Messi will almost certainly continue playing for Inter Miami through at least 2028. He's expected to remain part of Argentina's setup at least through this year's Copa America, according to reporting close to the national team. Whether he ever plays another competitive match, specifically at World Cup level, is the one question that remains genuinely open. He'll be 42 when the next World Cup begins in 2030, and 43 partway through it, which makes another World Cup appearance a real long shot, even if nobody close to him is willing to rule it out completely, given how unlikely his continued presence in this tournament already seemed before it started. So here's where this leaves us. Argentina's greatest player in history closed out, in all likelihood, his final World Cup appearance with a loss, tears on the pitch, and a record quietly slipping away from him through no fault of his own performance. And yet, true to form, he still hasn't given the football world the clean, definitive goodbye moment so many were expecting. Maybe that's simply who Messi has always been. A player who's never once made a promise about the future he wasn't certain he could keep, right up until the very end of his story with this tournament. Do you think this was genuinely Messi's last World Cup? Or is there one more chapter still to come in 2030? Drop your take in the comments. I read every single one, and we'll keep tracking every update on his international future. If you want full coverage of what comes next for Messi and Argentina, hit subscribe so you don't miss it. See you in the next one.